Hello, I'm Adam. Welcome to the first deep dive. You guys have been voting, and I don't think it's going to come as any surprise that Nothing But Thieves won. Thanks for everyone that's voted on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever format you've gone on to and found me and voted, liked, subscribed, whatever. Massive thank you. So appreciative of it. So we'll be starting with Nothing But Thieves' debut album. So came out mid-October, I think, 16th of October 2015. And I remember first hearing them on the radio. At the time I was massively into Muse, and there was a certain something there with their music that hit me. It was like, oh yeah, I like this. These have got the riffs, these have got the falsetto that Matt Bellamy uses. There's something here I really like, and they've got their fifth album coming out later this year. And judging from the first single, it's gonna be a belter. They haven't disappointed so far. I'd struggle to pick a favourite. I genuinely would. Whether or not you guys agree, comment. Let me know. Let me know what your favourite songs are. Let me know what your favourite albums are. Let's get into it. So this is track one. This is Excuse Me.
Space crowds out your space, your space crowds out hers.
So I'm loving that it's got a really slow build at the start. Doesn't hit you like a ton of bricks like a lot of bands would do. Very light sounding. Connor's voice as it's coming in, it's pitched perfectly somewhere between being lazy and being incredibly sensitive. And then it hits. Just a great hook. Great hook, great chorus. And just a really good opener to an album. Fairly simple, there's nothing there that's not been done before, but it's just done very well. Super catchy, really catchy. I love that first little time that we get to hear Connor's voice really breaking out a bit there. I love a break like that on a song. They literally go out of nothing, absolute silence, and then back in. Yeah, his voice is building, we're getting more personality there now. We understand a bit more what he can do with his range. Cracking first song, absolutely brilliant. It's just a good opener. 3 minutes, whatever it is. It's very short, straight to the point, and it just introduces you perfectly to the band. It's a very typical song of theirs. Doesn't do anything that none of the other songs do, but it's just a lovely, lovely little song to open with. And track 2 coming up. There's a very, very Muse-esque vibe to this one. I think Joseph's guitar on this is it's very similar to what a lot of the work that Matt Bellamy does. It's bizarrely one of the few songs that wasn't a single off the album. It's a strange one. I've never actually known an album to have as many singles released off it as this one. The regular version of the album's got 12 songs on. 7 of those were released as singles, and the deluxe version, which is 16 songs, which is the version I'm actually reviewing, actually ends up with 9 singles off it, which is just insane. I really cannot think of another album that's got that many. But this is one of the few that wasn't a single. So straight away it's got that angular riff, that sort of Muse, Biffy Clyro, that, and the falsetto again, so that's very Matt Bellamy. So yeah, it's no wonder as a Muse fan I got into these. It's just got a great groove to it, this one. So I love that changing drum beat as well there when the second verse comes in. Just takes it up to the next level. It's really, really good. And then back to that groove again. Such a good chorus. Just fantastic drumming there as well. They could have done with changing things up a little bit, but it is what it is. It's the first album. They get let off a bit for that, It's like they're only pretty young when they recorded it, so. But yeah, cracking second song. Again, it's one of those. It just hits right from the start. It's under 3 minutes. For me, it just hits everything that it should. It doesn't outstay its welcome. It's really catchy chorus, and it's just energy all the way through. It's brilliant. Okay, track 3 is called Wake Up Call, and I believe it's about essentially what the title suggests. Sometimes when things get too much and you just need a wake-up call. You need something to get you out there, whether you can be bothered or not. And I believe it's they wrote this after hearing something from Aleister Crowley.
We met when we were young. I told you where to go. You had those creepers on. You showed me how to roll. Step out this town. Something that I wanna know. If these thoughts are violence, this ain't no crowd control. These thoughts are violent.
That bass line just gets you straight away, doesn't it? It's
Slow down, fade out.
absolutely hooks you. So simple, but you know, really works. So it's a little bit more chilled out than the last couple of tracks, this. Which, you know, fair enough. It's not as slow as some of those tracks get, and certainly not as stripped down as some get, but it's definitely got a bit of a lighter feel to it. Still rocks when it wants to, though. The closest to a solo we've had so far. Pretty simple, you know, in terms of a solo, but again, we can forgive them for that. They were young. Yeah, again, just 3 minutes, just it does exactly what it's meant to. That initial bass and the guitar that follows, they're just so hooky. They get you straight away. I hate to keep saying it, but it's got a great groove to it, like the verses in particular. And then you've got Connor coming in with his falsetto again on the choruses, which just sounds gorgeous. It's so well done. Yeah, a simple song, but it does exactly what it's meant to. On to track 4, Itch. This is the track that I first heard by them that got me into them. So yeah, it was just one day I was just listening to the radio and this came on, and I was instantly, I thought, yeah, these are my sort of band. Oh, that lazy vocal that Connor uses there is just so good. And then as we get towards the chorus, it just... Oh, just everything about that just works for me. It's just the riff, the drums, the vocals, everything is just perfect. think this is some of James Price's best work on the drums on this album. It's really good. So I just think this song's got confidence about it. The first three songs are maybe lacking. This definitely feels much more like we found Renge. Yeah, like they know what they want to sound like on this song. And even that guitar solo, it sounds a bit more just confident, and as if he's going a little bit away from what he normally would do. It's not just the same riff as in the chorus again. It's doing something a bit different, and it's a bit more exciting. It just hits so hard. It's so good. And the message of the song obviously goes without saying, is just the idea of a numbing nothingness, that you just want to feel something. You want to, whatever it is, whether it's real or not, I just want something to grasp onto that feels right and feels normal. Yeah, brilliant song, absolutely brilliant song. One of my favourites on the album, without a doubt. Okay, on to track 5, If I Get High. This is one of the more somber songs on the album. I believe it's written from the perspective of someone that is missing someone that has now gone from their lives so much they'll do anything to reconnect with them, whether or not it be through substance abuse or through dreams or whatever. They will literally do anything to feel like they were back with them. And it's some of Connor's finest vocal work. It's slow, it's stripped back, and it's just beautiful. This is so lovely. And again, there's a maturity to this that's been missing from some of the earlier songs, and I don't mean that just because it's a quieter song. It's just, you can tell a lot has gone into the songwriting on this one. One of those slow building songs, you know it's going to hit something eventually. It's going to, it's gradually getting there, and you just know. There's going to be something there waiting for you at the end, and you know it's going to be good. Oh, Connor. What a voice. What a voice. Yeah, pretty much faultless. Not one of the most exciting songs on the album, obviously, but I think it comes at a time when it's needed. I think that it's at that point in the album where you've had quite a few up tempo songs, a few shorter songs, and that just hits at the right time. I think it's such a lovely track. On to track 6, Graveyard Whistling. This is about the idea of trying to gain some control over mortality and also sort of turning your nose up at a lot of religious idealisms and enjoying the here and now, and whether if there's, well, not that anyone does, but not knowing whether there is something to come afterwards, but knowing very well that you might as well make the most of what we have at the time. It's another pretty quiet one as well. So yeah, two slow, quiet songs in a row. I think it's the only point in the album where that happens. I think most of the tracks from this point onwards, other than one or two, are upbeat again. Yeah, so all your gods are false. Just get used to it. Well, controversial opinion? I like that though. Yeah, because if you don't believe, it can't hurt you. So yeah, there's your poo-pooing religious idealisms. I think the idea of graveyard whistling, it's like whistling as you're passing the graveyard to sort of distract you from any thoughts of mortality as well. Could be. Just my idea on it. It's a song that a lot of people tend to consider this one of their best songs. I don't know if now people think that, but I know back when this album came out, there was a lot of love for this. For me, I don't know, it leaves me a bit empty, and I don't find it to be that exciting or interesting. Um, I think it's because it comes after another similar song in terms of it being a nice, quiet, chilled out song, but it's not quite as good as the one that came before it. I don't think it's a bad song by any means, but I just don't think it doesn't hit the heights that any of the songs prior to it have done. So yeah, I'd say for me it's the weakest track up to now on the album, and if you were listening to the regular version, this would be the halfway point. With it being 12 songs and this being track 6. Yeah, like I said, it's not bad. It just, if there was any tracks that I was, if I would miss any tracks off an album, probably would be that one. If I was able to choose one. Okay, on to track 7, Hostage. So this one's a little bit more upbeat after the last two. Well, it's upbeat in terms of the music, but in terms of the actual content, it's a little bit of a rough subject. Nice slow start. Oh, I love Philip Blake's bass on this. It's also the first song on the album that really gives keyboards a chance to shine. You don't really hear much of it before now, but they're pretty prominent in this. Gives it a bit of a different edge than the other songs. Yeah, I get the impression this is about a toxic relationship, and basically being held like you've nowhere to go, you're held hostage. So yeah, it's a pretty rough subject matter. God, that's hard hitting, that chorus. It's so good. I love Connor's range on this. Is great. He's got the falsetto. He's got the full-on heavy sound to his voice in the choruses. It's got a bit of everything. He sounds so confident on this song as well. Great drumming as well. Drums are excellent on this. In fact, everything's excellent on this. It's one of those songs I kind of forget how good this is until I'm listening to it again and then realising, wow, there's nothing about this song that's not great. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I mean, I guess if you're going to fault it, you could say it's a bit repetitive. Just love that bass line. Yeah, cracking song. And on to track 8, Trip Switch. I get the impression this is about how we're so reliant these days on technology, and what the hell would we do if it all failed? Again, quite an upbeat one. I think this was a single as well. Yeah, one of the 9 singles. Really good song, very catchy, and here we go. Again, straightforward, but that bass line just hooks you straight away. So good. Just shows don't need to be complex, just needs to be good. Yeah, now how's that for a groove? Oh, so good. Ridiculously catchy. Yeah, now this is the only problem for me. This could do with something a bit different here. I'm not a fan of this bit. Nah. It's short, but for me it doesn't need to be. They could have done with like a decent solo or something there rather than just nothing. At least it doesn't last long and just straight back into a decent chorus, so whatever. Yeah, just another really good song. I sometimes forget, like this album, there's very little filler on it. It's for a debut album, it's pretty fantastic. Okay, track 9, Lover Please Stay. Now this one, when I first heard this, instantly thought, God, that sounds like Jeff Buckley. And then it wasn't until maybe about a month later I heard that they'd actually also covered a Jeff Buckley song, Lover, You Should Have Come Over. And it's amazing how like similar vocally some of Connor's work is to Jeff Buckley's. And obviously I mean that as a compliment. Anyone getting anywhere close to Jeff Buckley's range is, you know, an absolute genius. But yeah, this song in particular, there's some very, very strong influence from Jeff Buckley.
Lover, I know you're weary as tide from night. Lover, come to the kitchen floor. Tiles are cold, so am I.
That's just so beautiful.
So take from me what you want, what you need. Take from
It's hard to even talk over this one because it's just, you just want to listen to that. It's just perfect.
But lover, please stay with me. Lover, I feel your sorrow pouring out of your skin, and I don't wanna be alone.
Beautifully lyrically as well. It's not just his voice, but the heartfelt lyrics, like the idea of obviously a relationship, a doomed relationship that you know is set to destruct at any minute, but you're just begging for that person to come back. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's
Whatever you want, whatever you need, but lover, please stay with me. And I can see you, I can feel
I love how they keep it totally stripped back to just the one guitar and his vocals. There's no need for anything else in there.
I can taste you, I can taste you slipping through my hands. So take from me, what do you want? What do you need? Take from me, whatever you want, whatever you need. My lover, please stay with me. My lover, please stay with
Just shivers up my spine listening to that. Oh, it's just incredible. I mean, easily the standout song on the album in terms of Connor's vocals. That's just chef's kiss for me. That is just perfect. Yeah, it might not be the most exciting song in terms of, you know, oh, I can't help that. Yeah, it just that hits me. That song so hard. It's such a good song. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Track 10, Drawing Pins. A little bit more upbeat than the last song. Similar subject matter, I think, though. I think from what I can tell, it's about a failing relationship again. And the idea of trying to pin it down, try and pin down whatever you can to keep that going still. But ultimately, yeah, a doomed relationship. It's got a nice slow start to it though, this one. It's like, it's one of them where you're not quite sure where it's going to go. Very bass led again. Simple bass line, but straight away it hooks you. And that, what I like to call Connor's like lazy voice that he's using again. It's like, it's almost an aching to it. I love it. Yeah, it's very unique.
Cause I can figure it out what you did.
Love the vibe of this. It's just got a really nice feel to it. Great chorus as well. I love the instrumental when the chorus ends actually. It's really good this bit.
What do I have to do to be loved?
Just love how they let the song breathe. You know, it doesn't have to be heavy all the way through. And it works so well for it. You see, when it does go heavy, it does kick ass. It's really good. Catchy as hell though still. Yeah. It's probably about the heaviest it gets on the album, apart from the next song. Yeah, by far the punkiest, I'd say, song on the album. Track 11, Painkiller. Another one about a toxic relationship, actually. I think this is more to do with like the lust and just basically just knowing that this relationship is an absolute disaster from the start, but you're using it just to hide the pain in your life anyway. This is one of those songs you can just imagine yourself shouting along to if you've had a really bad day. Chorus in particular. Always makes me want to jump about. Just love that stop start. It's so good. Yeah, the energy of the vibe. This song for me is just love it. Yeah, I absolutely adore that song. It might be simple, straightforward, you know, whatever, For all I know, that's the sort of song like Ash did with Kung Fu that may have taken 15 minutes to write. But I think that's what works for me. It's that energy, it's that raw sound that just, even if it didn't take them long to do, the passion's there, and that's why I love it. It's, you know, everything about it just fucking works. Okay, track 12, Tempt You, and then in brackets, Evocatio. So this is the last song on the standard version of the album, but there's obviously still another 4 tracks after this on the deluxe one, which we will be going into. Yeah, a song that's it's got quite a deep meaning. It's actually based in historical ideas of rival armies that were going to war would pray to deities to try and get the other side, basically to tempt them over to their side. They'd actually pray to let's see if this would happen. So yeah, it's like a long-standing thing that's happened for hundreds of thousands of years, apparently. So, but I think it's used as a metaphor for the whole sort of drug, sex, rock and roll, and the big city feel, and all that sort of stuff. And of course, with it being the last song on the album, it's a nice, laid back, quiet one.
I'm gonna build you something sweet that you need something better. Let me build you something better. Heaven, slowly in your heaven. Darling, we should get together. I could worship you forever. I do attempt you out of the city, out of the city.
Again, a nice slow beginning, just keyboards, Connor's vocals, and that's all that's needed. There we go. Cushion comes in. Again, the song's given time to breathe. It doesn't have to, there's no rush with it. It's yeah, it's one of the good things about Nothing But Thieves. They've always been a band that knows how to pace the songs. They never rush, but then they also don't ever allow songs to get away from them and become too long and boring. They know when to build and they know when to stop. So yeah, we're obviously getting a bit more in terms of keyboards than anything else on the album, probably. Almost to the extent that they're quite overbearing on the rest of the song, really, which I've never noticed before. It's not a bad song. I don't think it's one of the better songs on the album. It's a little bit samey. Doesn't really. I don't know. I want something bigger at the end, considering what the album's been up to this point. It doesn't quite get to that level. It's still good, but it's slightly lacking for a final song, I think. Yeah, not the finest hour. but a nice, fairly chilled way to end the album. Right, so we're on to the bonus tracks now, two of which were singles, including this one. So track 13 is called Honey Whiskey.
This part is pretty boring. I don't think it's for me. Lucy's already
So I think this is about the idea of, yeah, being at a boring party and getting so intoxicated just for something to do. So the honey obviously, you know, confirms that it's sweet, but the whiskey means that it's probably not good for you in the long run. So yeah, maybe I should think before I do something I might regret. That sums it up basically. It's got a nice vibe to it though, this, I like it.
black-hearted angels haunt me with kisses on my mouth. There's poison in this water. The words are
Yeah, yet more really good drum and bass work there. That's just sounds great. Proper punchy. Yet another really, really catchy song. And it just shows if this is the level of stuff they're putting on these bonus tracks. But it kind of reminds me of, you know, back in the day when bands were putting out 2 CDs and a 7-inch single, and they had different B-sides on them all, and some bands were putting out tracks that were just as good as the A-sides, if not better sometimes. Whereas nowadays, because that's not the case, you've got them as bonus tracks instead. But at least we get to hear them, so that's the you know, the beauty of it. But yeah, pretty cracking song that. I really like that. I wouldn't say top tier, but it's definitely you know, it's certainly good enough to be on the album. Okay, track 14, Hanging. Again, pretty dark subject matter this. It's certainly about depression, substance abuse. I think there's mentions of various coloured pills and marijuana and, you know, whatever else, all to take the edge off the depression. So yeah, pretty heavy going again.
blue one is a little chiller, easy to take the edge off her touch. Pink one
And there's that lazy, gravelly voice that I love of Connor's again.
keeps me from feeling too much. This place stays the same. What we're gonna do in the pouring rain? You who married Jane, are you gonna come for a dance today?
Yeah, this probably I'd say is one of the weaker songs in the album for me. It's again, I don't think it's bad by any means, but it feels a bit like filler. You know, it doesn't really do anything that hasn't been done before on the album. Done better before now. Strangely, it's one of the longest songs on the album as well, which seems a bit of a shame considering it's one of the weaker tracks. Yeah, it's not bad by any means, but it's certainly not top tier. It's quite forgettable as well. I think it's one of them. When I read the song title, I'm like, I can't remember that one. Yeah. Quite a nice little solo though. Yeah, solo's a bit different for anything else that the guitar players have done up to now. So they get points for that at least. Yeah, it's alright, it's fine. Track, what are we up to now? 15, I think it is. Neon Brother. So this is, from what I can tell about the idea of having basically two personalities, like the one that the public sees, and then the one that is really you that you don't want them to see, and maybe losing a grasp on one of them, or like blurring the lines, not knowing which is which, and not really wanting the real you to come out. And yeah, Neon Brother, it's again very Jeff Buckley-esque title actually.
If you open my chest, see the two hearts are beating, falling out of sync. There's the one I accept and the one I believe in. Which one drew in? In the night, this is how it goes. We are all or nothing. It's alright, listen to your wounds. Can you hear it coming? Do you see something real or just some kind of mirror?
Again, nice slow start. Building up. We know something's coming. Just don't know what, we don't know when. Quite ominous feel to it. Cracking chorus. Really, really good. again, you can definitely, like, not just in the title, but you can definitely hear the Jeff Buckley. Yeah, there's like a definite Jeff Buckley influence there in his vocals on this song. Just certain songs where like it's at points it almost sounds just like him. Which is crazy. Just crazy that anyone can do that. Yeah, it's the passion that Connor puts into his vocals. Not a lot of people are able to do that as well as Jeff Buckley could, and Connor is definitely one of those that can get there. It's not falsetto for the sake of doing falsetto, for example, and those points like the what's the knob from The Darkness called? Justin Hawkins. So yeah, it's not singing high pitch just for the sake of it. It's doing it with real force, real power, and you can feel it. You can feel it. It's coming through his soul. It's beautiful. Yeah, excellent stuff. Well, I've managed to do it. We're down to the last song, 6 Billion. So this, I believe, from what I can gather, is about the idea of, well, it's from the narrator's point of view, obviously, but it's to do with the idea that even though there's 6 billion people out there in the world, and you're literally surrounded by them all the time, sometimes you can feel as lonely as if there was none. It's also to do with a relationship, which again is a toxic one, which seems to be a major theme on this album. So the idea of it actually being a toxic relationship makes him feel even more isolated because he can't get out of it. And despite there being all these other people out there, he's stuck. He's completely trapped within the relationship he's in. But also, I kind of feel that there's a bit of what I sometimes get as well, where when you're out in public, you do feel isolated amongst big crowds of people. So yeah, I think that definitely comes into it as well. It's a beautiful song. It's really, really, really gorgeous, and it's a better closer to the album than Tempt You is. I think it's actually closer again, to bring up again, Jeff Buckley and a bit of Muse as well. So yeah, I delight in this song. I think it's fantastic.
Sometimes the cord likes to break. Sometimes a lie.
Yeah, Connor's delivery of the vocals there, it's very Matt Bellamy, very early Muse, I think that.
Against the wall. Sometimes the world wants to see you crawl, and you can decide if it's enough. You can decide if it's enough. 6 billion eyes looking for love. You can decide if it's enough. The end is the same for everyone. Should be
I prefer the build up in this too. Tempt You. I just generally think it's a much better song. I'm actually surprised this is on there as a bonus track rather than on the actual album. I know we sometimes say that bands themselves are the worst critics of their own material, and there's so many bands that have done this sort of thing, put bonus tracks on which are just better than half the tracks on the albums. It's crazy. It's crazy when it happens. I know it's all subjective, obviously. It's, you know, what I consider to be great, someone else might consider to be awful. But yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it that this is just a great song. Just builds up that atmosphere beautiful. So good.
Watch me fall apart, trying to please you. It's all I want to do. Watch me fall apart, trying to please you. It's all I wanna do.
I like how it finishes basically as it began, with just one instrument and vocals. Feels like it goes full circle in terms of the feel of the album. Ends quite ominously. The album begins quite ominously. So yeah, it's like a nice full circle, which I really appreciate. Actually, it's a nice way to do it. I also love the artwork for this album. I think it's fairly simple, obviously, and it's been interpreted by some people as a quote unquote ghost horse, which, looking at it, yeah, I can see that, which in itself has no meaning behind it. But it's not meant in that way. It's as far as I can tell, and from what I've heard online, it's more to do with the idea of nature being gradually taken away. So it's obviously more of a silhouette of a horse than a full-on picture of one. So it's like it's just the remnants of the horse, and you can't see much of it, and yet there still remains beauty there. Like, you can tell what it is, you can tell, you know, perfectly clear that it's a horse, and it still looks beautiful despite not being its full self. Which, you know, I think is a pretty good rule of thumb for anyone. Sometimes we don't all feel, you know, like we're all there, but we can still be as beautiful as ever. Well, some of us. Right, so that's the album done. I have now finished my first ever deep dive. So moving on next week to, you know, give you an idea, we'll be doing exactly the same thing, but with the second album. Again, I'll do the one with the bonus tracks on because there's a couple of really good songs there as well. So Broken Machine is the next album, and I will be hopefully getting that put up next Friday. This has actually taken a bit longer to do than I expected, and I've been sort of editing it as I'm going, and I'm noticing that it is taking a bit longer than I thought it would. But at least I don't have to wait till the Friday to actually record it as well, because I know who I'm sticking with as a band now. Hopefully be able to get the second album done next week, and I just want to say thank you to every single one of you again that's liked, voted, shared, uh, done whatever you can. I mean, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, I appreciate every single one of you. Keep it up, keep subscribing, keep telling your friends about this, and hopefully I'll be able to build up a bit of a presence on here. And until next week, goodbye.